Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Day In, Day Out podcast. Woo! Today on episode, have to glance, 334. I am very lucky, privileged to have Isabel Steuble-Johnson on the podcast. She is a dynamic director, producer in film, television, advertising, crafting compelling female led stories. How are you today?
I am great. How are you doing?
Oh, you know what? Look, well, I am good. I have thankfully been working from home for the last couple of days, so I have not had to face the immense British weather. Like it has been raining sideways, it has been raining in like numerous ways, and I've just been like, yes,
It was
indoors.
it was hailing yesterday. There was hail in London. like let's just pull it back.
No, like this is the thing. Look, people like, yeah, you had a little bit of rain, everything like this. Look, I have experienced rain in upstate New York where it rained so hard it got lighter. You know what I mean? You just like, I'm not going out in that. No, like this, I just sat looking out of the window like, I know it's going sideways. That's not a good combination.
No,
Rain should not go sideways
no,
at all.
no.
Yes. No. Like, well, you haven't come onto the podcast to talk about weather today, but you know, you know how it is. Now, I have to ask that with all of your like all of your travels, you've now ended up in the UK, like doing your film thing. How did like what drew you into film? Why? Why directing? Why producing?
Why film? I mean, I think that's the question that we filmmakers ask ourselves all the time. Why
Yeah.
am I doing this? What mistakes have I made to bring me here? Um I have I have always wanted to be in film,
Mm,
and I grew up in Philadelphia and then moved to New York. I lived in New York for eight 8 years,
yeah.
and then moved to London. And I love the film industry in London the best, because I feel like the people in London, the filmmakers in London are so excited to test things out, to collaborate, to work together. And I think that that atmosphere of collaboration is something that is so special about working in the film industry in London. Um, from from my standpoint, you know, there's so much more that could be done to support the film industry. I mean, we collaborate, and we work together, but we don't have that much support uh, if you compare the film industry in the UK to, let's say, Germany or even the US. So I think that's a tough spot that we're in, but when it comes to working together, working in London has been amazing, and I've always wanted to do it, and sort of this is where my journey has brought me.
Yeah, I do find that interesting because okay, with regards to okay, if you look at the US with regards to the hub of just TV and film production, like just off the top of my head, it's like in my mind, and I most really be wrong about this, but like New York, a lot of TV,
Mhm.
like Hollywood, TV, film, everything like that. Canada, also a lot of TV, and then you've got if I look at the end of most TV shows, it seems like Georgia seems to be
Atlanta,
doing very well.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
So like with those hubs and like everything like that, is it a case of because is it more just down to large TV production rather than sort of like, okay, more creative fear, which goes on in those, like in those hubs I mentioned.
Yeah, I think that we can test things out in
Mm,
London a bit more. You know, it's scary for big companies to take a risk on anything. And I think to sort of create stories that feature women, feature people of color,
mhm.
you have to almost prove that people want to see it before the big companies come on board. So I think there's more um flexibility in that way where you can you're sort of outside of that studio system, and you can sort of test out all of these different stories and um feature the people, the actors that are best for the role.
Yeah. So, like, with regards to coming over to London, like finding this sort of new, like, bed of creativity, like, how did you like get switched on to London? Because it's one of those things where, like, you mentioned London, you mentioned Germany. Those are two sort of huge jumps compared to where you were. You know.
Yes. So I am my mom is from Switzerland.
Ah.
So I've spent a lot of time in Switzerland. I speak Swiss German, and so living in London is sort of a mix of all of the different uh, cultures that I'm used to. And sort of has that bed of creativity as well. I think I could never live in Switzerland. No offense to the Swiss people. But
Hey, hey, what's wrong with the Swiss people? Come on now. It's like
no
they have a handy dandy like bit of furniture. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's great cheese. But and like,
I
yeah.
I don't wanna be canceled, but the only reason I say that is because they just don't do the level of filming that, you have in the US or the UK, which is a huge
Mm,
shame. It would be amazing if they had if they had a huge thriving film industry, but they don't. So yeah, I came to the UK to sort of stay for a year and see how it was gonna go, and test it out. And then 14 years later, here I am.
it's like I came for a year. Every time I tried to get out, they kept drawing me back in.
You Yes, yes, truly. It's one of those things where they trap you.
Like, not the being a Brit. Like, let me just say this to the rest of the world: we don't actively go out there and capture like nations or like draw people in and like keep like stuff in like special museums. It's not like that. It's like, we believe in how can I say it? Sharing natural resources around the world with people on a regular basis. Like, yeah, just wanted to say that for you guys out there. Come to Britain, or we'll come to you. It's always good fun and games. Hey, how are you? It's like,
I feel like you had that written out on a teleprompter that just popped up in front of
no, no, like this is the thing. It's part of like if you get a podcast in the UK, you have to like sign up to this like doctrine or else. I mean, hey, apart from like yeah, impending threats and doom from the British government, hey, it's all good. It's all good.
you. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Now, like with regards to no, the whole thing is now. When I think of TV, film, like all that type of production, my mind sort of naturally goes to I don't know larger scale fear because like the sort of small indie film like narrative. that I won't, in my opinion, has taken a severe hit since the early sort of like 2000s going up. I would say the dawn of Iron Man going forwards, that pretty much took care of that because, yeah, Netflix, everything. But yeah, is it like how healthy is it in the UK with regards to the film, like on that side of things?
I mean,
Oh, here we go.
that is such a good point. I was just talking about this as well. Yeah,
Mm,
the 90s, the sort of the Danny Boyles doing 28 Days Later, those
yep.
were fantastic indie films, smaller budgets, under 5 million, and you had great actors in it, cool ideas. Yeah, it's taken a huge hit. And it's because there's not a ton of government funding. All of that seems to have dried up. But the thing that makes me feel hopeful for the future is
Mm,
that the government has announced a 40% tax rebate on
oh,
films up to £15 million. So I think they've taken a real interest in the fact that, yeah, those indie films are, where are they? What's happening? They seem to be gone. And I think they've realized that they need to to really change that, because that's what the UK is known for as well. Like the UK is known for these sort of, smaller budget, we kind of weird films, like, and where are they? They've dried up because there's no funding for them. So I hope that tax credit will really really help.
I like this is the thing with regards to funding. How can I put it? This is like we live in an age where there has been more content produced. I mean, not going with the whole YouTube and everything like that, which is fantastic. Some of the people which are coming up in that realm are highly creative.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I'm talking like, yeah, with regards to the opportunity to produce anything from small films to large films. But it just seems sometimes more's being done, but it just feels like it doesn't feel like the quality is coming through in certain areas. It used to be like it went from film to television. Like basically, look, give me some of The Wire. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or
Yeah.
much of like HBO's like Fear from like yeah, The Wire to Broadwalk Empire. Like you could throw in The Sopranos with that, and you know it. But now it just seems like everything's tailing off into low quality drivel.
Yeah.
In my
Tat.
opinion, like how's it?
Tat.
How do you feel?
Yeah, 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 absolute tat. They're just making a ton of stuff that is, the story is not thought out. The story is not what it's, the what makes The Wire good is the
Mm,
story and the characters. It could have been, it doesn't, The Wire didn't need to be shot in a beautiful way. It was, of course, it was created in an amazing way, but it didn't
mm,
have to be because you had those amazing characters and that amazing storytelling. And we've lost that storytelling, and it needs to come back. Yeah, we need to see more stuff that's really about the story. I mean, there's some stuff that I really have enjoyed that's come out. I don't know if you've seen Borders on BBC, but that's fantastic. Um,
okay.
and there's some really good smaller things that are surfacing. But yeah, I mean, the Netflix sort of high end dramas, they seem to just churn them out with little to no regard for what,
Yeah,
what the story is and what the,
yeah.
characters are. Do we want to spend 13-hour-long episodes with these people? Like, that's the question that you should be asking yourself. And
I,
most of
I
the time it's no.
it's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's been 30 minutes in, and you're beginning to feel like 3-day-old fish. You gotta go. You gotta go, to say the
Yeah.
least. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
S-
because some of the things I've seen, and look, don't get me wrong, like even though I went, yes, the age of Iron Man, blah blah blah. I do like my superhero movies, everything like this. It's taken a downturn of late, but that's Hollywood be Hollywooding. Yeah, but but like the whole thing I've seen with some TV shows which have come on Netflix, and like they're spending like multi-million pounds, dollars on these like TV shows, and you like go, "Yeah, how much did you spend on one episode?" And you go, right, yeah, as you mentioned with regard to indie films costing like £5 million, like less than £5 million, they could have made 3 films for one episode of Sandman, which I think was like $15 million an episode.
yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was all right, but that was about it. More money doesn't
Yeah.
mean.
No, I think that's the thing, you're totally right. For this for if if the risk is so high, isn't it? If you make
Mm,
something that is $15 million per episode, the risk is so high that it must play. It must be, talked about. And people really have to love it. And
mm,
so you become so risk averse when you're at that level of money. You don't want to take the chance on anything new or different because you're spending all of this money, 15 million per episode, and you have 10 episodes. That's a ton of money. um
mm,
but if you do, like you said, 3 or 4 low budget indie films for the cost of one episode, the risk is lower, like, and you can really take a chance on new talent and on different stories. And I think that's the exciting place to be in, and that's sort of where you want to move, where I would like to move towards, just looking at story and how I can tell good stories rather than worry about, "Oh, is this gonna be a huge success?"
mm. Like, yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. And I like do agree. Like with regards to like, okay, with when you're taking on a project, how do you assess risk with regards to like getting into it fully? Like what are the sort of key things have to stand out for yourself?
I think it's more risky for me that the story is bad. You know, I'm focused on making something good, and that to me needs to feel that it's when I say good, I mean that it's, you know, uh an engaging story. People will watch it and maybe learn something, or will learn something about themselves through watching it. That's what I'm really focused on. And yeah,
Yeah.
I would hesitate to give that up to do a a Marvel, because I think that like, that's riskier to me.
Yes, I go. Is that yeah? Like the way you said it was like to do a Marvel. Is that going no?
Listen, I love a good Marvel. I love a good Marvel, like a real good story-led Marvel, but they're not all created equal. Let me just say that.
Okay, okay. No, they're not all created equal. Okay, okay. Favorite Marvel film? Reasons why. Worst Marvel film? Reasons why.
Oh, well, okay. Fa-
You opened this Pandora's box. Here we go. It's like,
Favorite is easy. Favorite is easy. Thor Ragnarok is definitely my favorite one. I think Taika is so talented, and
yes.
he did such a good job, did a different take on it,
Hmm.
really made a character that everybody was like and and then everybody loved Thor,
Yeah.
the first Thor was not well received, and then the second one was the best, an amazing one. That's a really
Yeah.
hard that's a really hard situation to put yourself into.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yeah. There I go. Yeah. What would you have done differently, man? Leave it alone. Yeah.
No, there's nothing I would have done differently. I think he did an amazing job. But now you have to
Oh,
answer, what's your favorite one?
favorite one. Okay. Now I'm gonna go with Endgame. And like the whole thing is the way they brought it together. And like they the fight scene, like the fight sequence when Thanos first comes down to all the way up to when the portals open. It tied up so many things throughout the films, like all of the film's history, everything like this, like all of the whole 10 years of getting through this journey. That when like it was like, yeah, you heard on your left, and like it's like, yeah, Sam comes out of the portal and like all the portals open. And like it was like the perfect sort of like in the cinema film to watch.
Yes.
Everyone in that cinema, breath all ground. Then you had Chadwick Boseman come walking out, like yeah, and then you heard Umba. Eh? I was like, ah, if like, and just at that last moment when like Captain America like gets the hammer, goes Avengers Assemble because he didn't say it through. No one said Avengers Assemble through any of the other films until that one moment. At that one point, it was like, boom. If a portal opened up in front of in that cinema, everyone would have run through. Like I would have definitely run through. I would have been gone in seconds. But yeah, it was one of those things where I looked at it and went, yeah, you brought you've you've actually looked at everything what's gone before you, brought
Mhm.
it together, and went, okay, this is a rich nugget, that's a rich nugget, that's a rich nugget. Which, if you're going to do something where you are drawing on the lore of previous films, it's been around for a long time, you got to respect everything which has gone before you. Unfortunately, I think there's many a film what doesn't do it. Like Avengers Endgame did. And like, yeah, it did it in the like most loving way. Yeah.
I think that, that's hard as well for a filmmaker. To like bring everything together and figure
Mm,
out all of these years of of films, all of these years,
yeah.
hours and hours of films, and bring it all together. Oh no.
Yeah. No, but this is the thing. I would imagine it's like hard as like yes, a film director, like creative, because you want that realm of freedom to do what you want to do and take it in your interesting direction, wherever that might be. You
Mhm.
can't do that if you've got to then look at the like law and go, okay, like I've got to like acknowledge this, that, this, that, this. And yeah, don't get me wrong. There is a lot of information what went in the first 10 years. Now it's like on a new crazy level and go, right, what can I then use to enhance the story I'm trying to tell and make it happen? Not easy. Not easy at
No.
all.
Exactly. That's my thing. It's just
Mm,
a It's a feat. It's a feat. Definitely. Definitely. It's a feat.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Now, this is the thing. Worst Marvel film. Come on now. Which one?
Now,
Which one is it?
I have to tell you, I have to come clean. I
Uh-huh.
haven't seen that many Marvel films.
No, like how many Marvel? Look, this is the thing. Look, you might not have seen many Marvel films, but they look. But not all, as you said, not all Marvel films are created equally. And like this is the thing. Now, on the less quality side of things, in your opinion, which one was it? I don't,
I
come
think
on
it
now.
was the the third Thor.
It's like
So
Taika Waititi.
so
Yeah,
Taika
you helped.
Taika made the best one, and then he made the worst one.
Like,
I mean, I think it was because as well, I loved Thor Ragnarok so much.
yeah.
I thought he did such a good job. And then I was expecting, him to match it, but that was an unrealistic expectation as well. And I don't think that the third what is it? God of Love and Thunder, I think, or
Yeah,
something.
for
Yeah.
Love and Thunder or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I just don't think it was.
no, like I think it was a little bit like yeah, paint by numbers to say the
That's
least.
the thing. That's the
Uh,
thing. The first one that he did was so unique and like fun, and he clearly was having a great time, and the actors were clearly having a great time. Like Kate
mm.
Blanchett was like living. And for the third one, it just felt like they all were kind of like later.
He was like, hey guys, it's day one of filming. There's like, this again. Come on now,
Yeah,
this again.
you felt
No,
it. You felt it. Like collectively, everyone was like,
yeah, no, I get you, I get you, because yeah, I looked upon that film and yeah, it just came across as paint by numbers, even lazy on some parts. It was just like, okay, did you have any type of script, or did you just went, okay, yeah, let's come up with something quirky. And like it was like, yeah, okay, you could have got this from your local improv group on a like regular basis. It's just the difference is they don't spend millions and millions of dollars on special effects and like yeah, filming. Uh, whereas we're doing that right now and it doesn't look good.
no.
Yeah, no.
I will say, in their defense, I think that
Mm,
they did that film too fast. I think that they knew that they had a slot that they wanted that film to be in, and everybody had to sort of scramble to get it together. I think that they made that film too fast because yeah, like you said, it didn't feel like it needed to feel. It didn't feel uh yeah, like the other one. And I think they had more time on the other one. I think they
mm.
they were like, "We gotta go.
It's like,
We gotta
it's
put
like
out this film today. We need it today."
go, people.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
time
People
is
are
money.
like people are like drawing in and like, quickly drawing up monsters. They're like, "What do you think about this?" I don't know.
It's like, it's like, it, does he animate well?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, get out there, get out there.
Does
Oh
it make
man,
sense?
oh,
No, just put it in the movie.
it's like, oh my lord. Ah,
I do think
no,
that I do think that happened, and I think they suffered for that. I genuinely think that they had. I think that Marvel have like a crazy schedule, and they need to meet those deadlines. They're like, we need a film here, we need a film here, and
yeah,
and I think that in that case, affected the creativity.
yeah, no. Like this is the thing. I would like, I, with regard to your like choice of like 411 Thunder, yeah, I would say it's pretty much there with it. Like, I think the problem with everything after Endgame, like, well, basically, since the emergence of Disney Plus, and like this is where it comes to like I think streaming as a whole, they went on this like we must make content,
As much
and
as
they
possible, as fast as possible.
yeah,
100%. 100%. As much
oh,
as possible, as fast as possible. It's so
mm,
true. It's so true. You're 100% correct. When they went for Disney Plus, yeah.
mm. Yeah, and I think this is one of the things which I think is real, like in my mind, like as an outside observer, is hurting the film industry as a whole,
Mhm. Agreed.
big and small,
Yep.
because there is such an emphasis on just not even like just churn, not like bringing content, it's just churn it out,
Yeah. Yeah.
and when you just churn it out, it's right there's like the special little nuggets of gold which would come into the realm. Okay, film which I would say would never see the light of day, and it's number one in IMDb, Shawshank Redemption, right? Never would see the light of day because Shawshank Redemption, when that came out in the cinema, it came and went like a whisper in the night. It
Did
was
it?
thanks, yeah, it basically was thanks to DVD sales, which basically brought that film and everyone, oh my god, what have I missed here?
Yeah.
Same thing with the Sixth Sense. Like it came and went. It came in, everyone was like, yeah, it's all right. But because DVDs were just hitting the market, it's like, right, I need to buy a DVD. This Sixth Sense seems to be decent. There you go, and it succeeded. But right now, I feel like there's so much churn going on, it, the quality suffers. And like I think there's going to be, like, I can see a streaming service, maybe two, like not being around from one of the big studios. You know what I mean? That's, yeah.
100%. 100%. It's, it's interesting you said Shawshank Redemption. That film wouldn't be made today. Definitely not. I
Oh,
mean, there's no chance, that that it's long. It's well shot. It's a good story. It would be a struggle, I think, to make Shawshank Redemption. It would need to have an extremely, extremely famous director and producer on board,
yeah,
it's a shame. It's a real shame, Um, and it is true, there is such a speed needed for stuff. We need to get this out so that we can hit these deadlines. Because people, on the streaming services, yeah, they want to see something new every week. Uh,
mm,
and it's hard to keep up, I think. I think the streamers are having a difficult time keeping up.
yeah. Like this is the thing. Like, yeah, I have to ask with regards to like yes, in the realm you work in and what you're doing, how do you manage to sort of like cultivate attention or build an audience for like what you're doing as a director, a producer? It's there's a lot of attention being sucked up by everyone, but how do you manage to like ignite that little flame for what you're doing?
It's hard. It's hard because there's a lot of attention, like you said.
Mm,
There's a lot of people all fighting for the same little bit of attention. Um, I think the way that the first way is by festivals.
mm,
So when I do films, just making sure that they get into as many festivals as possible. Because as well, when people see the films at festivals, they it sort of piques their interest, and they're sort of excited about what is coming next. Um,
mm.
so that's definitely one way. And then the other way I think is for me as a director is to just try different things. I just directed a play. A play is very different to film. um and a play is very difficult, and it's I think it's exciting to try something completely different. And I think, if you can post about that on social media and the people are like, what, you're directing a play, why, what's happened, you sort of keep people sort of interested, and you keep sort of that interest going.
Oh, directing a play. No, you know what I mean. Like that. That's playing the game on hard mode because, like, look, this is the thing. Like, it, film is like going okay. Like a race start again, especially with digital. It's like how much film do we have? How much hard space do we have? It's like yeah, go again. But oh, a play. Oh, you don't screw up your life on the show.
Literally, I think it shaved a few years off my life, I'm not gonna lie. But but I think, stuff like that is just keeping up and keeping directing and sort of seeing, you know, showing that you're the type of person that will try anything, like test stuff out and see what works. So yeah, I mean, that's sort of the way that I go about it, but it's difficult because there everybody is trying to do the same thing, so you have to try and do something a little bit different, and how you can get people's interest.
No, interesting, interesting. Now, I am curious because yes, directive, like directive freedom and like doing what you need to do, and like yeah, you have a little bit of kind of liberty with that. But like with regards to advertising, are you afforded that same type of liberty, or is there sort of like you got to go on certain like rails? Look at the eyes, people. Look at the eyes. If you can see it on video.
Advertising is the opposite. So advertising is advertising, there's no liberty to do anything, outside of this box,
Mm,
I do think advertising is, um I think everybody should do it because it's
yes.
almost like um it's a it's a test of how you can be creative within an extremely tight parameter. So if you need to be creative in like this space.
Yeah.
You can't go outside the space. You don't try and do something over here.
No.
But but it's interesting in that way because you get, in a short amount of time, in 30 seconds, a minute maximum, people get
Mm,
to sort of test something out and push themselves, in maybe in a new way, but very much, within those parameters. So you get people trying new camera techniques, you get people testing out new cameras, you get people, testing out actors that they might not normally cast. So you get different things that you can do.
mm.
But yeah, I mean, you're unable to sort of go wild.
I see. It sounds to me it's a great way of getting your reps in, with like and basically being able to refine certain techniques in, as you say, rather strict parameters.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yes.
this is yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I won't say I won't. Look, you just smile on and nod if you want, but pays fairly well, I would imagine.
Yes, so that's the other reason to do it.
He's like, yeah, look, a girl's got to eat me. Why? A girl's got to eat.
Yeah, literally. I mean, that's you can make all of the low budget feature films you want, but you need to also make a few commercials.
Oh, there you go. It's like, it's like, I need to make this commercial. I need to keep the lights on.
Yeah,
There you go.
truly, it is what it is. And you just try and choose a brand that isn't entirely morally corrupt.
It's like, yes, we at the puppy exchange. It's like, what do you do to those puppies?
Yeah, yeah.
Never you mind.
Don't ask questions.
Like, yeah. So it's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, we belong to Seal Corp. What do you mean Seal Corp? Don't
Yeah,
worry. Don't care. It's like, what's your jacket made out of? Fur. That's it. It's like, it's like, what did I sign up to? It's like,
exactly, exactly. This is the dilemma that you have to have.
yeah. Interesting, interesting. So, with regards to like your journey currently, where would you like your journey to take you in the future? Like making DC films instead of Marvel films, or somewhere else?
Um, so I have a few feature films that I'm attached to.
Ah,
And I am really excited about them, and I'd like them to get off the ground. And I'd really like to uh as well. Sorry, you've disappeared. I lost the window.
ah,
I'd really
I'm
like
still
to.
here.
Yeah, I'd like to do some television as well. Um, and test out how television is different to feature films. I think television is super exciting, and the way that people work in television is completely different. Yeah, and it would be great to sort of test that out.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, like with regards to features, is it a case of the features you're involved in? Are you going to be involved in the side of raising money for them, or is it a case of you are going to be just like, okay, I'm the directing talent. You, Mr. Producer person, go out, find me the money, and make things happen.
Um, So both a little bit. I'm attached as director, but I am helping with funding as well. So any sort of funding schemes I see, I let the team know, and I work with them to create material that they can use for funding. So I'm heavily involved in that, sort of trying to find funding wherever we can. But
Mhm.
there are other people that are doing that.
Ah, I see, I see. Like I have to ask, when you had to take on the responsibilities of raising funds, like like was it something you enjoyed doing, or was it a case of you stared at a piece of paper and went, where do I start?
Fundraising is the hardest and the worst thing, in my humble opinion. Some people love it and they're super good at it. They are incredible at finding people. They know all of these people. They can pinpoint who is good for what project. And, some people are incredible at that. I am not one of those people. And fundraising for me is so difficult, finding the people who will possibly give the money and, do all of that, and come on board, what level they want to be involved at, all of these questions. It's just so difficult, and it's so outside of my my remit. um but yeah, I mean, if you find one of those people that is a whiz at fundraising. They are
Hmm.
incredible. They are just so, so good. I need that person. So if you
You
know
need
them, send them my way.
no worries. Like if I knew them, I'd be like, hey, have you thought about getting money to raise for a podcast? Come
Yeah,
on, man.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's a few projects on the go that we need money for.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. It's like-
Oh my
love it,
god.
love it. Now, yeah. Oh, got only a couple questions to ask, but like, yeah, like if there was some like a project what would you be your ultimate sort of film project and why?
I think uh I like female stories. So I like stories about really cool female characters, you know.
Hmm.
So I think something that is different in, maybe a genre piece, but starring a really cool female lead. That would be incredible. I would love to tell a story um that maybe is not really, um that you're not really used to seeing,
Hmm.
and tell it in a new and exciting way. Um, yeah, I mean, just on a personal level, I would love to do. I've done all of the genres except action. So action, I think, would be the one that I would love to do next, just to
Oh,
test it out. I mean, there's
yeah.
nothing. If I could do a John Wick but with, a lady, that would be my dream job. That would be so fun.
Yeah, like this is like this is the thing. Action. Ooh, that is it's one of those things where how can I put it? It's like having you've lived in the UK for long enough now. Like if you're not a if you're a vegetarian, I apologize for this analogy, but it's a bit like having a roast dinner. It's it's simple, but it's very easily can get screwed up, and that's what action films are like. It's
Mhm.
like yeah, because trying to say like circle the sort of like between the sort of 5 to 10 minutes of action scenes and then bringing it to a grand finale.
Mhm.
Woo! It's very
Yeah.
difficult. Right?
We've seen a ton of bad action, haven't we?
Uh, yes, yes, and like it's very rare to get like that sort of oh, like gold standard, like
Yes.
or beyond that. And like, oh, have you seen the Raid or the Raid 2?
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah. Incredible. Yeah. Going through the floors. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Now, look, the Raid, the first Raid film is if you want to do an action film on an incredibly tight budget, that is what you need to kind of look at, and you can't look at anything else. And like, it's just where's most of your money gone? Basically, stunt coordination and like yeah, just to do the whole all of those scenes. Raid 2, they had a little bit more money and they kind of strayed a bit, but the last sort of 20 minutes of that film, they kind of took it back to where it was. It was like crazy. But yeah, if you can, hey, if you can produce anything like 5% of what the Raid did, yeah, I'll be like, oh, God damn, you got, girl, you're gonna go far in this like action film like this. And like,
Oh
yeah,
my
you
god, I
know,
would love to. I think what the director
mm,
had was access to all of those actors who were incredible.
yeah.
Like incredible action actors. And I think that just probably, I mean, that helped him so much. There's no doubt about that. Cuz he had them. And they were so talented already. So, um, it's what you have access to as well. I need to sort of find some find some stunt people and keep them.
No, no, no. I like. I'm in all in favor of a little bit of kidnapping in my time, but that's another story. But yeah, kidnapping some people, they're a tricky lot. They might try to escape,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. Yeah. They're trying to get out. I don't know.
uh, all I would simply say is, look, you might be traveling to Indonesia in your future. Say no more.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. You know, that's where
Yeah.
it's at.
100%. I mean that would be incredible.
Outstanding, outstanding. Oh no, you see, time has come to an end. I have no more questions. Like like yes, I'll get you back. But yeah, there's another story. Now, how can the lovely people find you out there on these interwebs?
So I am on Instagram. And it's MBI underscore Isabel. Um, did I say that right? Is that what it is? Oh no,
I
oh
don't know.
no. Now you're gonna see.
It's like like yeah, all these directors, they're highly organized and like yeah, they got things down. Yeah, it's not like you can't remember your Instagram handle. That's another story. Come on now. It's like I'm like, so which films did you direct? I don't know. Yeah, it's like they're out there.
It's it's the other way around. It's Isabel underscore MBI, please. Um, but easier is to find me on my website, which is madebyisabel.com. That I know.
Uh, okay. Yeah, you heard it. Made by Isabel.com. Yeah, it might be different in the description, but no judgments. It's been a long day.
Oh my
Oh
god.
no. Stop being mean, Miwa. Stop it.
I don't know where I am, so let
Uh,
alone what's
uh,
happening.
you're in London, the capital of the UK. There you go. I don't know what part of London. Do you know what part of London you're in? I don't know. It's like I'm outside of London. North. There you go.
Oh my god.
Ah, yes, brilliant. Isabel, thank you for coming on today. You have been a superstar. Brilliant. Fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been really, really fun.
Huh? Delightful. And I'd like to say thank you to you, my friends, my life warriors, for sticking with us all the way to the end of the show, even though we can't remember what our addresses are and where we are. But that's another story. Please, stay well, stay safe, be awesome, be excellent, be fantastic, be all the positive bees you can be in this world and then some. Have a great day, guys. Have a great day. Peace. Oh yeah. Oh, where are we? And we are